on the basis of the charge brought by the prosecution. The charge brought by the prosecution was first-degree murder. A lesser charge would have been a much easier conviction. Based on the charge of first-degree murder and based on the admissible evidence, not everything that we know, there's certain evidence that it's admissible, others that are not, that we can't consider. Whether, according to the 12 members of the jury, she committed first-degree murder beyond a reasonable doubt. That's it. We're not trying to correct this wrong. We're not trying to fix this wrong. We're not trying to get revenge on somebody who did some horrible things. Unfortunately, it would appear, this is not what our court system is capable of doing. And there are a lot of things that are wrong with our system of justice. In this country, in so many ways, it's better than what we have in many other countries, but it's still flawed. It's unfair and unjust to have access to resources and how financially, how much money you have depend and influence what justice is to you. Justice to a very wealthy person is different than justice to a poor person, and that is unfair and unjust. Having a system in which a jury who is relatively unsophisticated and perhaps uneducated about complicated legal questions are making these important determinations that determine life and death. Perhaps we can have an issue with that. But I would argue that this idea that because we have this very high burden of proof for criminal trials, the standard of beyond a reasonable doubt, that we allow certain guilty people to go free is not one of those problems. We have a basic idea that the wrong imposed, the unjust effect of having an innocent person punished, killed, is so severe, so much more severe even than letting a guilty person go free, that we want to avoid that. And in our system, even today, even in the United States, with a standard of beyond a reasonable doubt, every year, people are put to death for crimes they didn't commit. They did nothing wrong. They were wrongly accused, and they were put to death. They were imprisoned. They were punished. These things are happening all the time, even in this country. It's much, much worse in other countries. In China and in Iran, I have no doubt that there are people that have done nothing wrong that are being put to death for charges that perhaps they never committed, and even if they did, it doesn't justify killing that person.